Friends and fellow travelers, welcome to the Journey Well. Today we're going to be doing a pick a card reading. This reading is, something I was just compelled to do. I really felt like there was a message that you need right now, and that's what this is. So when I show you the cards, I want you to really think, really feel what deck is calling to you, because this is going to be a potent message, something you need to be aware of, something you need to take action on. We'll see what the cards say. But this is going to be an impactful message that you need to hear to become, to be on the path to your highest good in the weeks to come. Here is the cards. We have pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. Whatever's calling to you. So what calls to you? Once you've picked it, please go to the description, find the timestamp for your pile, and then click. Okay, so let's get into it. Welcome, group number 1. Let's get into your first cards. So again, this wasn't a planned reading. This is something that it's been on my heart for, all day. And I just felt like I needed to do this reading because there's a message that needs to be given to you. So let's shuffle the cards and see what we can see. All right, so group 1, let's take a look at what you need to be aware of right now so that you can start moving towards your highest good, your highest self. You need to, whatever these cards are saying there, it's a message of your best interest is to become aware of these things. Pull one more. And then I'm going to rearrange them, I think. I'm feeling the desire and the need to rearrange the way that they're structured. Oh, 2 more. Okay. Who am I to argue? When Spirit says 2 more, you go 2 more. I'm going to put this one up. Okay, so that's what I'm feeling. I feel like this is telling me that this is what the mental status, this is what's going on in your mind. So let's pull this card and see what is going on in the mental space for you. So we have the 9 of Cups. So in your mind, there is an area, I would say, that is emotionally sound. There is a sense of peace that you have somewhere in a corner of your mind. Now, when we have peace in one area, doesn't mean that we don't have discomfort in another. So I see you in some way, and I want you to think about this area. Where in your life are you feeling that satisfaction in an emotional capacity? This could be within relationship, within your business, within your exercise world. Wherever it is that you feel satisfaction, I want you to think about that as we continue to pull the cards. Now, this is your starting point. Wherever this is in your head, this is where you feel really content. You feel really satisfied. And now this side, we're going to look at as the 10 of Swords. And on the other side of that is the Page of Wands. So what we're getting here is from that place where you're emotionally happy, you're very content, you have 2 options. The first one is the 10 of Swords. So this path says there is something that needs to be let go in your life, that you need to release. Could be relationships that aren't serving you. It could be working in an environment that's not serving you. It could be conflict that you're engaging in that you shouldn't be engaging in. But something needs to die. And if you sacrifice that, if you let it go, there's a new horizon for you. So that satisfaction out of that emotional wellspring that you have where you are content, you are now empowered to go and address and make a choice to end certain parts of your engagements in this world, how you're showing up in this world. It's time to let go of that bad behavior. It's time to transition away from that relationship that's not helping you reach your highest good. Now, with that grief, on the other side of that grief is the Page of Wands, which is new passion. So what I'm seeing here is dancing with new passion. This is very much a dance. And what I'm feeling here is that this emotional place, this place where you are very full emotionally, you're very satisfied, it's related to passion. So something you're passionate about is definitely at a place where you are, meeting with it, communing with it, and there is a fresh perspective, a fresh idea, a fresh surge of energy coming your way. But You really do need to let some things go because you can't say yes to both. You can't say yes to both of these. So it's really telling me that you're at this place of contentment, but you're about to take a new path, a new leap in your passion. So this is literally a leap. It's a throw. This is going to be fun, really fun. But in order to do it, you're going to have to let go of something else that you think is important, that you think you need to say yes to. And it's going to be painful to say no to it. But if you do say no, here's a new opportunity coming your way. But you have to say no to whatever this is. You have to let go of this thing that's holding you back for you to leap into this new idea, this new passion that's coming your way. It's related to that house of passion that you already feel. It's that place where you're really happy within your passions. Whatever it is you're doing that you're passionate about, it could be a hobby, could be your work. If you're really satisfied in those areas, there's going to be a new opportunity in that you have to let go of something to say yes to and elevate that. And it's going to lead you either in recreation or in profession to your highest good. Now coming down here, we have the High Priestess and the Ten of Wands reversed. So, okay, High Priestess. This is mystical. This is wonder. This is magic. And she is a wonderful creature. She is a powerful woman. One of my favorite cards in any tarot deck is the High Priestess, because I feel she is the keeper of wisdom. She is the keeper of intuitive wisdom, the mystical wisdom, not the academic wisdom. But what I'm getting for a message here is for you to reach your highest good, to find this contentment, to leap into this new passion, and that is going to enhance your idea, what you're already passionate for is going to elevate it even higher. You have to grieve, but the way to grieve is through the High Priestess. She is going to require something of you. She is going to require a sacrifice. And this sacrifice relates to an analytical way of thinking, that you have to have everything black and white. This death of idea, this transition you're moving away from, is really speaking here to a sense that you have to get away from the black and white, the legalities, the logical mind has to be pushed aside a bit for you to take this new passion. You have to lead a little bit with your heart, and this Ten of Wands in reverse is about new adventures in a sense. But it also, I shouldn't say new adventures, it's about the ending of an old adventure that you can now begin a new one. Now, this Ten of Wands is a toilsome card. And so what I feel here is that it's telling me that you really have been doing something. You've been working on something, but the way you've been doing it has been alone. And that makes you tired. I mean, if you work on this, if you're, pursuing passion, because again, wands and wands, this is what it's telling me, is that this new Page of Wands, this is a new idea. It's fresh inspiration, but you're ending a cycle of that same passion, and it's going to be transitioning. This is a person in transition, but it's reversed. So that's a lock right now. You don't want to let it go. You don't want to risk that new idea and that new pivot, but you have to. Like it's really saying you have to. And the way you do it is stop being so logical. You have to be a little bit more mystical. You have to be a little bit more heart-led so that you can see the new opportunity and take the journey and end this old one. This is ending. This is an ending of whatever this way of being, this way of pursuing your passion is. So let's pull some more cards and see what else we can discern. Because so far it's a cool position you're in, but whether you know it or not, this shift is coming, and you have to be ready for it. And the way you're really being called to be ready for it is leaving behind a little bit of the logic and connecting a little bit more to the wonder and to the intuition, and trusting your gut that this new passion, or this, not new passion necessarily, but this pivot to your passion is going to ultimately be good. And you know it in your heart that it will be. It's just you've been a little bit resistant, or you will try to resist it because it just doesn't seem logical. It just doesn't seem to fit into a plan. All right. What do we got here? The Opossum and Peony. So this is a card of bashfulness. This is a card that, really speaks when we're looking at this spread. as the reason that you're afraid, as well as being more analytical, is because you're almost shy, you're almost embarrassed to even say what this is, because you're thinking a little bit about what others are going to say, what they're going to think. The people that even support you now, if you were to go on this journey, are going to be at first maybe a little confused. That's what you think. That's not a guarantee, but that's what you think is going to happen. And this opossum is going to play dead. So what you've been doing, in a sense, is playing dead. Or your default is going to be that, where you just kind of take this new idea and let it lie dead. But it's still in your head. You can't get rid of it because it's just playing dead. This Page of Wands is being forced to play dead because you're resisting the ending of an old way of engaging in your passion and resisting the new, because you're a little bit shy, you're a little bit embarrassed. And it sounds weird to say shy and embarrassed or bashful when you're thinking about a new idea, but that's the timidity. Like, you want to do it, but you're worried about what others are going to think of it if you were to go about doing it. And I want to pull one more of those. Let's see who we get. The Elk and Ash. Now I see Strength. That's a little bit of a different message, isn't it? So when we look at this is what we're talking about here. You're playing this way, but this is what you need. You need that strength. You need trust. You need to believe that you have what it takes to go through this grief process, to transition and change the way you're operating, to step into this new opportunity. Yeah, you might be bashful, but the opposite. That's a really cool balance, right? You have bashfulness, timidity, strength. I love that. I love that duality, because we are in a duality. We're in newness and we're letting it go. So there's this really interesting balance. There is the, logical mind, and there's the mystery. Just like I was saying, like, there's a balance. There's timidity and strength. So make sure you're giving that strength. Make sure you're giving that wonderment and trust of your gut and intuition. Let's pull 2 more cards. Okay. Get a little bit more guidance as to how you're going to be reaching your highest good. The Arrow. So it's telling you to surround yourself with protective energy. Now, the first thing I want to say about this is it's a warrior card. Obviously arrows, right? Warrior, energy, strength. We have this book ended right here. Strength, warrior, they're strong, right? But what it's saying with surround yourself with protective energy is you can replace that with positive energy. You can replace that with relationships that are going to hold you to a higher standard. It's really calling you to build a tribe, to lean into your tribe with this new idea and with your insecurities and with the knowledge of, I'm aware that I have to let this go, but I'm not sure how to take the first step on this new journey, or I'm not sure how to take the first step in letting this go, ending the old way and stepping into the new. And there's strength in that. There is a ton of strength in opening yourself up to those people to speak into you. And the surrender card here that I'm going to pull is the final card. And it's a card of what it is you need to surrender. And you got the surrender procrastination. Is that how you say procrastinate? I don't know why. You ever say a word, the word, but then all of a sudden it just sounds wrong in your head, where you're like procrastination. Am I saying it right? Yes. Now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract success. Okay. The possum. I'm stoked on this. Here we go. Okay. Procrastination. Playing dead. Like I said, having this idea isn't gone out of your mind. It's been with you for a long time. You know it's something for your highest good, but you've been putting it aside, letting it play dead because you're afraid to bring it into fruition. You're not trusting yourself. You're not trusting it, that it is for your highest good. But this is telling you you're just wasting time. You're just putting it off. Like, you're going to have to deal with it, and you need the strength to deal with that fear, that reality that people are going to look at you maybe a little funny when you do it, because how can they not? Like, we're in a world of people who don't get what we're doing. No matter what we do, I could be the kindest, you could be the kindest person, the most inspirational person in the world, and people are still going to put the middle finger up when they see you. I don't care what it is. we will never be fully accepted. So until you bring your idea to fruition, you will never be happy. You will never reach your highest self because you're making it play dead. Your highest self is playing dead in the corners of your mind. And you know very well that something has to change. Something has to be let go so you can step into this new passion. You can step into this new power. And you have to put those people around you that have that best interest in your heart, that want to see you succeed, that want to see you strive and achieve great things and want what you have. You have the strength. If you surround yourself with those powerful people, those positive people that want to motivate, to challenge, and to inspire you and show you paths that you haven't considered taking, but you have to surrender procrastination. You have to stop putting it off. You have to jump on this goal, this idea, this pivot, and not put it off. And if you take that action, you will attract success. This group of people that you're putting around yourself is going to grow. It will change, but it will change, as you grow and you become successful. That is such a powerful message, and I love that. But it's going to take some work, but do not do it alone. So that was, the message for you right there. And I hope you found some encouragement, because it's incredibly encouraging. And even if it takes you time to figure out what that passion is, it's there. It's in you. You just have to open yourself up to it and start asking yourself, even asking other people what they see in you, and it is valuable if you trust them, because other people can edify you. And as you do that, you can gain confidence. You can gain that strength. So I hope there was something in here that's actionable for you, because it's an incredibly positive message. And I know you can do this. So thank you for stopping by. If this was meaningful to you and you enjoyed it, please subscribe so that we can connect again in the future. But until next time, journey well, my friends. Group number 2, welcome. Welcome to your reading. Again, just to reiterate, this is a reading that was not one that I had planned, but it's just been on my mind, like heavy. And I just really I knew I needed to do it. I just had to, so I made the time. We're down here. We got some cards. Got good friends out there, and got a message. Now we just need to figure out what it is. So I'm going to pull some cards, and we'll see what we see. All right, so let's look at what message Spirit has for you to help you, get on track, to continue on towards your highest self, your highest good. The best course of action that you can take currently is going to be what we're pulling here. Like what else do we need to have group 2 aware of, so that they can really take hold of this journey, really step into their power. All right, so here we go. Don't you just love that feeling before you see what the first card is? Okay, we'll see if we do this one at a time, if we turn them all over at once, but let's get into it. We have the 5 of Swords reversed. No, you know what? I really feel like we're going to do it this way. The 4 of Swords reversed. Okay. Now that is interesting. We have the 5 of Swords pulled first. And then we have the 4 of Swords pulled second. Now, that's significant because they're one apart. There is a regression, but this is also a progression when you read it from left to right, but we went down one number. So the first message I'm getting is that your message from Spirit is that this is going to be related to your mind and your mental process. It's not going to be a physical thing that's in your life that you need to be aware of. This is all about mental process. And if you listen to this message, what I'm confident what these two are going to be related to is ways in which you're using your mind in a positive or negative way that is either elevating, empowering, or disempowering yourself. So first, the 5 of Swords was first, the 4 of Swords was second. They're both reversed, so they're both locked. And starting with this, because I pulled it first and we'll read this way, the 5 of Swords is a card of conflict. This card, if you look at it, we have, a flower in the middle and it's being stabbed, and there's two swords that are, almost like scimitars or whatever you call those curved blades around it. It's very balanced, but it's conflict. And it's not necessarily for the highest good. This is conflict in which you are either mentally sparring with people based in intellect and claiming victory, but then just because you know more doesn't mean that you are being the leader that you need to be. Doesn't mean that you're showing up in the way that you need to, because people are walking away with their heads held low, feeling not heard, not seen. This is one of the possible meanings of this card. The other possible meaning is that you're not engaging, or you're engaging in an unhealthy way. That was the first part. The second part of that is engaging in the act of avoidance. So you could be someone who's saying, I'm really healthy because I don't get into conflict with people. Well, unfortunately, that avoidance of conflict is conflict inside yourself. It's just other people aren't seeing that because you're doing it inside yourself. So you might not be, either you are engaging in an unhealthy conflict, verbally, word sparring, intellect to intellect, without real goals of progress in collaboration and change inside yourself as well as in the other person. It really feels more so that there is an internal conflict going on, that you're being unfair to yourself, or because you're avoiding those hard conversations, you're having them within yourself. You're stuffing them down and they're looking for a way to come out. Now, the Four of Swords is a step back. This is meditation. This is balance. This is really a card of being alone with your thoughts. In other decks, you would see a person lying under these with their hands folded, armor off, very relaxed and not in any danger, but it's a restorative process, a restorative time. So when I read it from this way to this way, the message became clear that there is, and I really feel it's more of an avoidance of conflict. So it's being stuffed down inside yourself that needs to be, as we progress, brought to forefront of your mind through a meditative process. This could be getting in nature or appreciating some beauty around you, something that's going to make you see beauty instead of negativity. Like, you have to stretch your vision to see that so that you can then go and process the emotion. It's kind of like filling up a cup and then with all of your emotion and then drinking sips of it. So you can let these little things in these moments of solitude. I highly recommend exercise of some kind, a walking meditation that is going to get your body moving so that you can have endorphins and dopamine, and that will allow you to take those sips. It's almost like a chaser, a trauma chaser, an emotion chaser instead of a shot. You have the shot that's like, ooh, it's burning my throat, but I take a shot of soda or whatever that you take, juice, I don't care. And that makes it a lot easier to go down. Now, in an emotional state, it's a similar thing. It can really burn when you start processing emotions and drinking from that cup of repressed feelings. But if you have some kind of exercise, if you have dopamine and these natural endorphins that occur, it's easier to taste a little bit of that emotion. It doesn't burn so much because you have objectivity. So I'm seeing that is solved by that. So let's go here and look at the Eight of Wands in reverse. Is this going to be entire? Nope. Okay, Queen of Swords. So a heavy sword spread right now, but we'll go on the Eight of Wands reversed. The Eight of Wands is rapid action involving in passion. It's really fast moving. So swords are the fastest moving of all the suits. Wands would be second, but this is the fastest. Apart from the Knight of Swords, this to me is the fastest moving card, and it's related to passion. So what the message I'm getting here with the Queen of Swords, because she is the influencer of her suit. She is the influencer of thought. She is a warrior chick, and it's your only not inverted, not reversed card. So this passion is locked. I think because your mind is not being fair. You're stuffing too much conflict down. You're stuffing too many negative thoughts in your head. You're not saying the thing that you need to say, so it just keeps, bogging you down and stuffing your passion down so you can't actually activate it. And so this idea, this fast action that connects you to passion isn't able to happen because you got too much stuff on top of it. So you really need to get out and find that passion, whatever it is that you love, and meditate within it. And when I say meditate, I really don't mean, Zen meditation, what you traditionally think of. I just mean being more aware, being more connected to your environment. And then if you do that, you might be able to take action on these passions, but that's going to be a quick decision. That's going to be a decisive, healthy decision. She is a warrior. She will slash the sword. She could defend herself as well as attack with it. It's a very powerful card. Now let's go and pull a couple more. Before we pull it, I will just summarize this. You're locked because of mental thought, of negativity that's stuffed down inside. You need to meditate. And you need to make that decision, because when this is unlocked, you're going to have a flood of passion. Your highest good right now is going to be unlocking that flood of passion and creativity and flexibility. And when you have that, you will ascend to the ability to be an influencer of thought. You will be able to have those conversations, those difficult conversations within conflict, but with love, because she's also a mothering type. Like the feminine energy is about compassion, but you're not going to be a pushover. And that's what I love, is you're going to be able to do that and action these passions and stand up for yourself and promote what's right with love, but with firm love. So let's go and get a little bit more information about this highest good. This is going to be the Fox and Ivy adaptability. And I believe I put it right by this. And what I'll say is these, like I think I mentioned, if I didn't, adaptability is one of the strengths of the wand suit. And so getting this Fox and Ivy, which is the card of adaptability, really reinforces that. There's a flexibility that is not occurring because you have so much sword energy, and swords are flexible, but most of them can be brittle and break. So they're not known for their adaptability. They're known for their attack, right? That's what a sword's for. But a staff can be a walking stick. It can be a blunt force object, a club. It can be used to construct things. It's also, in some cases, it's a wood with sprouts growing, so it can create new life. Highly adaptable. And so this adaptability is really your reward. That's what your highest good is going to be in the future. If you figure this out, is your ability to adapt as things come up connected to your passion. So that's really cool. And let's jump over here for another card. Oh, 2 cards actually. And this one and this one. Okay. Fire Guardian, ignite your passion. Hey, all right, there we go. Let's just stop there for a minute. Right next to here, the wands, the wands are a fire suit. So that's fantastic. And I've been talking to you about your passions. So here's your Fire Guardian, igniting your passions, connected here and here. That's not an accident, is it? No, I don't think so. So what we're seeing here is that this decisiveness mixed with this adaptability is really, to me, and your passion is really your highest good. That's your highest self, is adaptable and passionate. So someone who's not thrown emotionally into, victim thinking or triggered responses of fighting and domination, which the 5 of Swords can be a card of that domination. It's taking no prisoners. And whether you're doing it to yourself or to other people, it's happening. And that's something you have to figure out for yourself, and how you can get to this meditative process and energy. And the Water Guardian is connect with your emotions. And I talked about that, right? Like that is when I'm sober. So when I make references to alcohol, like I'm not promoting everyone should go out and drink. I'm sober, but I've drank enough in my life that it was a good metaphor, right? And so when you're sipping emotions, I just talked about that. the Water Guardian connect with your emotions. It's saying you have to, because you've stuffed them down for so long, that you have to connect with your emotions. And this Water Guardian is going to help you. And that process that I told you about getting active so you can have a chaser, an emotional chaser, is what you need, because it's going to be too hot going down. But that's the way to connecting with your Fire Guardian and igniting this passion, this decisive passion. Ideas like, you have so much potential, adaptability, creativity, passion, decisive thought, influence. Your decisive mental energy can influence instead of destroy. That is one of the things that this message is really here to tell you. And to do that, you've got to sip from that cup of conflict, of stuffed and repressed emotion. But you've got to find things to do that you're passionate and that you love. It can be watching a Netflix movie, I don't care. But getting distant so you can sit with those emotions will give you that same effect as having a chaser after a shot of liquor. It will make the process much easier. I promise. Now, one more card. We're going to do a surrender card. What do we have to surrender for all of this to really, come clear for you? That's the one. Oh, I'm getting the vibe before I even turn it over. I've never gotten it with this card, but let's just take a minute and look at the sun set, because it's really speaking to me that this is something you need to find. I really feel that part of your process, the message I'm getting, this isn't your card. This is the back of it. And I'm getting the strong message of the water and the fire. The sun is fire and the water is, water. You've got your Fire Guardian and you've got your Water Guardian. 2 guardian cards. Going to the beach or finding a sunset, I think is going to be really good for you. Because it's too perfect that these two are represented. Fire and water, fire and water. Amazing. Okay, let's see what it actually says to surrender. Surrender denial. See what it says. Accept people and situations exactly as they are, without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decision. You know who sees things clearly and makes the best decisions? Queen of Swords. I feel like these two are partners. This is your path. This is what you have to look forward to. But you also have to surrender your denial that you are capable of freeing yourself. She's blindfolded in this. So she has the power to take the blindfold off. That's the image I'm getting here as it relates to the 5 of Swords, which is reversed. So that means internal. To me, it really means internal. And the only person that can solve internal conflict is you. You have to stop expecting that it's not you that can change your future. You have the power. You are the one who does have the power. So don't deny that you have the power and that you can look at the situations and the ways that they're manifesting that are unhealthy, because you need to take those sips so that you can make the change, so that you can step into your fullest potential, so that you can be this Queen of Swords, adaptably working with passion, but decisively making great decisions, because you have that power in you. Okay. Love that for you. Hopefully there's some actionable information in this for you, but yeah, thanks for joining me. And if you enjoyed this, if it resonated in any way, you want to keep working and keep coming back, I would love to have you. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can catch the future videos. And until next time, journey well, my friends. Group number 3, welcome. I want to reiterate that this was not a planned thing. I wasn't planning on doing this today, but there was such a strong pull at my heart to do this that I just had to do it. So let's shuffle some cards. And before I even do it, when I picked this deck up, I got this sense that the highest, like I said, it was going to be your highest good, like your highest self. What do you need to know? And the message I got immediately was, this is going to be related to a shadow or something you're not aware of that is powerful in yourself. Almost like you don't know what your strength is. So you pick this deck because that's the message I'm getting, is if you're there saying, I don't know what even my strengths are, so please tell me. So I'm going to frame it that way, like, let's see, like, what is the strength here that you need to be aware of that you don't even know you're strong in? Like, you have power, but you maybe don't feel like you have any. So like I said, this isn't planned, but the message I'm getting, I'm just doing this intuitively because sometimes that's the best stuff. When there's a message like this, when you have strong feelings, you just got to go with it. So I'm going to go with it. This is your heart. This is at your core, the message you need to know that is locked deep within yourself. And that is the Queen of Swords in reverse. The Queen of Swords, I'm going to say when it's reversed for me, that means it's locked. So that totally makes sense that it's something that you aren't aware of. But this is within you. This is absolutely one of your strengths that you need to focus and believe in because it will lead to your highest good. So what it means, the Queen of any suit is the feminine energy. This is, compassion. This is not motherhood, but it is that loving, connected way that is not leading with the iron fist, but leading through connection. And with the sword, this is in your mind. This is decisiveness. This is action taking that starts here. It's going to manifest in the physical world, but this is really about making decisions and having clear thoughts. And that clarity comes with compassion, because this sword can be very damaging, but also used appropriately with this feminine energy, it's going to slash away negativity. It's going to slash away lies. There's great clarity within you to see the difference between, the path you should take and the path you shouldn't. But I get the sense that you don't know that you feel like you're not capable of making decisions for yourself. So you have to get insight and input from everybody else so that you can figure out what the best path is based on who likes this path or who doesn't. So you can decide which path you want to take. You're not making decisions for yourself. You're making decisions perhaps by letting other people decide for you or other factors decide for you, not truly what is in your mind and what you know. You also might not know where to go and look, but that can be a self-imposed prison of sorts. And, no, okay. I was going to say she's pointing to this card with the sword, but she's really not. She's pointing here. So I'm going to pull another card. So I want to see what she's pointing at. And then this leads to here. So I feel there's a really strong connection going to be between these two cards. So let's figure out what that is. Okay, that. Four of Swords, reversed. So the Queen of Swords is pointing to the Four of Swords in reverse. When we look at that, they're both reversed, so this is locked. But what she is telling me is that you need to unlock this, you need meditation. This person here is protected, his hands folded, in a very vulnerable position. Sure, there's armor, but he is very exposed. He's sleeping. There's these swords above him, swords below, as above, so below. That's a very mystical idea, but you're also being watched over as you sleep by these protectors. So there is protection in this, but you don't believe it, or you're not allowing yourself to see it because it's reversed. So what she's trying to tell you is you need to develop a self-care protocol, a self-care practice, because right now you're not doing it. You're not taking your care of your physical body or your mental state in a way that you need to. So it's kind of in chaos. Maybe you're not, like I said, making decisions for yourself. There's some factors that are going on that, we might get into here that are preventing you from this. But your answer to unlocking this is first and foremost learning how to take care of your body and your mind. What leads to this is the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is a card of decision making and indecision. So there is a level of not trusting yourself. Like I said, this is a card of not trusting yourself. You're blindfolded here, but this moon in the background speaks to intuition and self-trust. But because you're blindfolded, you're just like, somebody else, please make this decision for me because I don't know. And so the Queen of Swords is reversed because she's not making decisions. She's outsourcing her decision making. And she doesn't know how to do it because she's not taking care of herself. You're not taking care of yourself mentally or physically. So how are you going to make decisions for yourself if you're not connected to yourself? Now, let's go over here. Now, where am I being led? I'm not. I'm being led here because this sword is pointing to here. The Ten of Cups reversed. Okay, so this is your only right side up card, and we're locked. So we have indecision. That's locking your ability to make really amazing choices for the betterment of yourself and others. It's locked because you're not taking care of your mind. You're not taking care of your body. You're not resting, even though you're protected and you can. And what that is locking as well is your ability to embrace this Ten of Cups because it's reversed too. So this is locked as well. But if you do these things, this will turn upright. And I know that it's upright to you, but to me it's not. So it probably cinematically doesn't work as well as I think it does, but anyway, whatever. The Ten of Cups is joy. It is emotional contentment, happiness. It is fulfillment. It is the end of a cycle. It is victory, my friends. So what is locked for you? What's at stake here is your great victory, your highest potential is emotional bliss, is celebration with people you love because you are so full in your heart because you've not allowed yourself to be pulled around by the will of others nor your own impulses because you've connected so deeply to yourself and your mind. You've invested in yourself and your body and your mind so that you know what it is you want and you know how to trust yourself and you're not so indecisive anymore. Now we'll go here. The Three of Pentacles. Okay. So again, in reverse, this is partnership and this is collaboration. Now, let me take a look because every time we have this card, there is some differences in it. Okay, so what we're seeing here is three people working together but not being on the same page. There's this worker and there's the person who's planning the work. And they don't have agreement. And so they're kind of connecting and saying, well, here's what I thought. Well, here's what I thought. What I see is this is you. And these are the people that are pushing you around, that are influencing you to go other directions. But you're not trusting yourself. If this was right set up, it would be healthy collaboration, but I don't see that right now. I see, like we said here, is since you're indecisive, you aren't taking ownership of your own ideas and thoughts and making choices for yourself. You're really being ruled by whoever these people are and whatever it is that they want. So maybe you're wanting to be pleasing, maybe you're not wanting to create conflict, but you're disallowing your own voice to make choices for yourself. The last one we have is the Lovers. So again, this is your only card that's right set up is a Two of Swords, which really means that your struggle right now is decisiveness, and it's swords, and oh my gosh, like you mentally, you are just locked because you're not trusting yourself. And the Lovers being reversed is speaking to deep quality connection and relationship, and it's reversed. So you don't have it, or you're being locked from it, or even if you do, it could be so much deeper. Like these people here are embracing and it's joyful. You get that. You have good collaboration. Right now, it's like these two cards are very partnered, echoing that sentiment or reinforcing it, saying, no, you need healthy partnership. You need collaboration. You need trust within each other. But that trust comes from you trusting yourself first so that you can have confidence with those relationships, so that you don't feel like you're being led everywhere. You're collaborating and working with people. And let's get a little bit more information on this spread of indecisiveness, but your indecisiveness is directly speaking to your power. Isn't that interesting? How often we can do that. We can lock ourselves from our potential by not trusting it. So Your power is your mental decisiveness, your thought processes, but you're right now blocking that through indecision. So your obstacle is your way. So the vulture, upheaval. To me, what this means is something ending, and with an ending of something comes an upheaval. It becomes new birth, but it becomes born through tension. Now, for you to take action in this, if you do all of this stuff, there's going to be some difficulty. There's going to be some upheaval. There's going to be some feelings that get hurt. There's going to be some like people going, but no, you do what I say. You don't speak back to me like this. So you have to be prepared for that. And maybe that's what you're avoiding, is that tension that comes with speaking up for yourself. So you just give up your voice in certain settings that you really need to come forward with it. So get ready for some upheaval and know that it's not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of tension. It's actually growth occurs through tension and through discomfort. So you're going to have to embrace that for this next phase of your life to go in the direction of your highest good. And the Fire Guardian comes up again. I had this in the last group, but the Fire Guardian is all about igniting your passions. So again, if you are passionate, you're going to have this right side up. And the way that you're passionate, can be connecting with these things that give you rest, that give you rejuvenation. And like I said, mentally or physically, it could be either one. It could be reading books that you love. And this doesn't have to be self-help books and religious texts. This can be fiction, just an adventure book. I don't care what it is. It's something that you love and makes you happy. Connect with it. Connect with your passions. If it's bowling, some sport, some activity that you're not doing, connect with your passions, ignite it, because it's going to help you. Or if you're making thoughts and your processes are not in line with something you're passionate about, maybe that's the upheaval. Maybe you've got to change course and go somewhere where you actually care. Because right now, maybe all of this is locked because you're like, I don't actually care about the decision, so do whatever you want. That's the other path, is either you don't have a voice or you don't care because you're not working within your passion. So you need to ignite that passion so you can step into an environment where you care. And the surrender card will be the last one we pull. So to help you with this process, there's always something we can surrender that will help us get there quicker and surrender your desire to control people. Being over-controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. Okay. So now, if this resonates with you, this connects the swords strongly as well as the lovers. So if we surrender, so if this is locked, you can also run the risk of controlling people with swords, especially with the queen, because queens are leadership. They are, king and queen. They're both leadership people, and they have the power to influence others. She influences, but if she's influencing through control, that's not going to be the best way to get to your highest good. It's also going to ruin collaboration and ruin deep connection. So it's basically saying take a step away, which is what this is meditation. So surrender your desire to control people. And you might also, if you're not controlling people, that might be the driver. Sit with that. If you're not actively controlling people and that doesn't resonate with you, resonate this way. Do you really get annoyed with people who seem controlling, who seem to come into the room and dominate the conversation? Do those people bother you? Because if they do, you might have a desire to control people. And when you make yourself aware of that, you can have a little bit more compassion for other people, because you know that you're annoyed or you're bothered by these people because they're doing what you secretly wish you could do, and that's control people. But you're being told that needs to be surrendered. Any thoughts of controlling people needs to be pushed out of your mind and gotten rid of. And you do that through stepping back and connecting to this restorative practice, whatever it is. Rejuvenate, invest in yourself, find the passions, ignite them so that you're focused on a thing outside of yourself to bring you joy and healing and health, so that you can go back inside yourself where it's now healthy. The grounds are fertile for your motherly, decisive thought, mental landscape to go and create these healthy relationships because you be connected to your passion. So hopefully there's something in there that is actionable. If there was and you enjoyed this, please subscribe so that we can reconnect in more of these videos, because I really enjoy doing them. And one of my great joys is being able to connect with people in this way, because I know it's a camera lens, but I get to think about people and as I'm doing this and meet new people, even though I never met them. And so it's a wonderful experience for me. So I thank you for that. And until next time, journey well, my friends. Group number 4, welcome to your reading. That was going to be cool. I was trying to... Oh, I can't do it. I was trying to do that trill with my R's, so reading didn't work. But you're not here for that. You're here because you want to know what's the path to your highest good. So let's do it. Let's ask, what is it, the message? Because I wasn't going to do this, but I felt so compelled to do it. So there's obviously a strong message here for you as it relates to your current journey and where you're going and what you need to be aware of so that you can take the course that leads to the most empowerment, the most joy, the highest good, and the most growth towards your highest self. So what do we need to know? What does group number 4 need to know? You know, I'm going to do a little something interesting here. I'm going to do a different spread. I didn't have any ideas for what spreads I was going to do, so I'm just doing all of this intuitively, just taking whatever it gives me. And yeah. So what I see here, what the feeling I got as I grabbed these cards was to lay them out a little differently and see why. So what it's telling me is this is locked. These two are locked underneath these two. So let's flip these two. The Ace of Cups and the 7 of Cups. Okay, so right off the bat, we've got 2 cup cards. And cups are emotion. They're a spiritual element as well. And the Ace is new. It's a flooding of emotion, flooding of spirit, but I'm really getting flooding of emotion because I feel like there's been emotional waves coming at you pretty regularly that make it hard for you to process whatever it is you need to process. This cup is overflowing with emotion, and that can be a really great thing, or it can be a really overwhelming thing because you're not drinking from it. And I talked about this in another group that, you know, when we have emotions, we have to sip from that emotional cup. Otherwise it overflows like the Ace of Cups is doing. But it can be really bitter to taste that. And it can be very something that we really want to avoid. Now, the 7 of Cups, in conjunction with the Ace, is an overwhelm of ideas. Not ideas, an overwhelm of emotion, which can come with ideas. The 7 of Cups is also overwhelm. This rabbit is looking at these constellations, and there's so many different things. Some of them are scary, some of them are good, but it almost freezes you. Like, you know how a rabbit sees something that it's scared of and it just freezes and it assesses the situation? There can be a paralysis that you're feeling from the emotions where it feels like you're getting so many emotions you don't even know how to take a step forward. If that resonates, then I really think that what these are beneath are being blocked by your inability to process the emotion and being overwhelmed with so many different triggers, so many things pulling you in so many different directions. So let's go underneath and see what they are. The 9 of Pentacles and the 6 of Wands. Okay, so let's start with the 6 of Wands. 6 of Wands is victory. So in the wand suit, we're being blocked here, right? So beneath all of these emotions, we have victory. And I'll come back to this. I'll do this. Well, the 9 of Pentacles is a card of harvest, of amassing material wealth, of amassing physical health. This is abundance mindset. So in this moment, I'll put them back so I don't forget that they were underneath. I'm not going to forget that. It was like the whole compulsion of why I even did this. So trust yourself, Eric. Jeez. Okay, so what we're having here is interesting. Like I said, overwhelmed with emotion. So many different triggers are coming up in you. You're being pulled a bunch of different directions. But because of that distraction and that inability to process the emotions and to drink from that cup so it just keeps overflowing, you're blocking yourself from victory and abundance. This bear has harvested all it needs to survive the winter, so it can rest easy. So your reward, your highest good, ends in that contentment of having enough, knowing that you aren't in a scarcity mindset, that you are now in an abundance mindset because you feel content. Even if you don't have a bunch of stuff, you have enough, and you know you have enough, so that when you have enough, you're able to look at what else you want, or just be content with where you are, and those things you want become personal relationships. They become deeper connection with people and not amassing wealth. It could be wealth, it's fine, but you also then feel like you can do things with that wealth. And that wealth might be experience as well. So now we're talking service. You're able to give back in some kind of way, mentorship, monetary, or just your physical serving, going to a soup kitchen. I don't know what it is for you, but that's on the other side of it, is you're so content that you'll be able to just serve out of the goodness of your heart because you have a wealth of some kind. And this victory relates to passion and victory. Like these lemurs down here are looking at the king up here. That would be you, but it's blocked because you're emotionally kind of thrown all over the place. But if you have that security, if you learn how to drink from this cup and process the emotions, you have victory here. And it's working within your passion. And when you're working with your passion, you can't help but eventually amass the wealth of an abundance mindset because you're so satisfied, because you're working within your passion. You're connected to it. I don't say working as in now your career is your passion, but you're in relationship. You have processed in a way that's healthy the reality of your situation, and you found joy within it. You found a way to get past this constant striving and shifted it for connection, because you're not being thrown about by all of these potentially, you have, creative ideas and new adventures you want to take, but you take too many of them, so you never do any one of them to completion. You never feel like you ever get to the depth of any one of them because you got so many things going on that you never get back to the thing. You just have 10 books open on the shelf, and you've only gotten through 20 pages on this one, 50 pages on this one. Maybe you're halfway on this one. This one, you only got the introduction, but you keep starting new books or whatever the case is. So you never drill down to the real depth of anything. So that's another message that I'm getting, is if you can stop that and just focus in on one thing, if you can focus on one cup, I mean, there's 7 cups here, and this Ace of Cup is always bringing you something new, and it's saying it's overflowing. When we have a lot of emotion, sipping 1 is hard enough. Sipping 7, that's really challenging. That's a big task to ask. So can you sip 1 cup? Can you process 1 emotional trigger? And when you do it, can you start to connect to your passion? I call it emotional chasers. I'm sober, so I don't drink liquor, but I used to. So I know this very well. When you take a shot of liquor, you can do it straight and be all tough and whatever, and it burns. I'm man up, like all that nonsense. But if you take a shot and you take a chaser, it makes it go down nice. It doesn't burn. You still get drunk, whatever. But that emotional chaser is the same. When you sip emotion, it's like a shot. It can burn, and it can be very bitter and very painful to swallow. So that's why we don't. And that's why our cup starts to overflow, because we're not drinking from it. Something traumatic happens. We're offended. We stuff it down. We just never deal with it. We get spooked and we get scared, and whatever the situation is, we never address the feelings that were there. We get triggered because someone says something, someone does something, there's fireworks in the sky, whatever triggers you. We never deal with the trigger. We just keep avoiding the thing that triggers us, and that cup keeps filling up until it overflows, and then we outburst. Then we have traumatic, responses. We scream, we kick, we run away, we are mean to ourselves, we're mean to others. Because it's the overflow. It has to get out, and it will get out. But when you sip it, and the sip isn't alone, it's with good relationships. That's an emotional chaser. Exercise, that's an emotional chaser. Because when you exercise, when you walk, when you move your body, you are then creating endorphins and dopamine, and that helps you look at things more objectively. It gives you a little bit of help to swallow that painful, bitter taste of emotional turmoil that's inside yourself, and ownership that comes with it. It makes it a little bit easier. We meditate, we draw, we connect with passion. That's another emotional chaser. There's a bunch of different things, but you can watch Netflix. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can do this. But it just has to be something that allows you to be a little bit kinder and a little bit softer when you address those, even in a conflict with a spouse or a partner or a friend. If you exercise first, if you connect and you're balanced first, and you have those good feeling chemicals in that come naturally, you'll find it's easier to get into those conversations. So let's go and keep going now. This is an animal themed deck, and these are animal cards here. So we're just going to keep with the animals, you know. We'll put you right in the middle. And I'm feeling like, I'm feeling two more. This is not these two. Okay. We're going to do an X here. This is going to strike through the heart of your issue. Okay. So first, let's go here. We've got the turtle and coriander, which is satisfaction. That's a lovely card to have. Satisfaction. I will get back to it, but I feel like pulling the other ones. The beaver, which is home, which is nice because it's right in the center. So the message I'm getting is this is going to be your new home. And the bear and cedar is leadership. How about that? A bear and a bear and a bear and a bear. There's not an accident in there. So leadership isn't always speaking about a team at work. Leadership can also be leading yourself on this journey, this satisfaction, coming into contentment with where you are by sipping these emotions. Getting to this abundance mindset comes with starting to be satisfied now with what you have. You have to accept what you have now. You have to become content with it and not judge it as unfair or fair, or that you're too entitled or that you have too much. You have what you have. You're in the situation you're in. Now, when you're satisfied with that reality, you can start making choices, become aware, make choices that get you to where you want to go. And I really believe that choice you need to make is awareness of your emotions and how to process them in a healthy way, whether it's with a therapist or like the ways that I mentioned, or both, or a mixture of 3 or 4 different things. Like, you got to find those things and lead yourself. And that's your home. This satisfaction and this leadership of yourself is your home. You will be able to lead others. Absolutely. That just might not be where you are right now, because you have to come home first. And that home is in between your emotion, the 2 top cards in the bottom. You know, he's looking up here at satisfaction as well as the Ace of Cups. Being able to process your emotion is what you need most. Now let's jump down here. Get some more cards. See what else. How are you, huh? All right. Well, I'm going to grab the last one too, the surrender card. Let's just get them all on the table. You know what I'm saying? Get them all on the table. Let's bring this message home so you can go start processing your emotions, figuring out ways that you engage with them in healthy ways to bring you home as a queen or king of your emotional regulation. That's really the message I'm getting here for you. Hunter, track down your fears and desires. Yes. Okay. Now we're talking. Track down your fears and desires. This passion is your desires, right? Like, this passion is connected to that, but your fears are connected to here. That's what's locking you, is your inability, your overwhelm. Like I said, is a fear, is an overwhelm of emotion. It's, really speaking to the triggers. It's really speaking to things that you're avoiding. You have to track those things down. And it can also be, like I said, the person that annoys you most might be the key holder. When you look at what behaviors they're exhibiting, and then you look at yourself and say, how, in the best sense, even if that person is doing it in an ugly way, what are they doing that I'm jealous of? I was jealous of charismatic people because I wanted to be charismatic. I wanted to feel like I could walk into a room and be confident. So when I used to see people that were super confident, no matter where they were, it annoyed me. And some of those people were jerks. In fact, they were. But I looked at their qualities that they had and said, what is it? Because if I have a strong emotional response, there's a message for me. This strong emotional response is a message for you. So you need to start learning how to speak that language. And this hunter is going to help you do that. Go and hunt it down. Sit with it. Lead yourself into the conversation and realize that your home is going to be learning how to listen to triggers and hear what they have to teach you. Not a call for you to change the world around you so that you don't get triggered. It's time to listen to the triggers and hear the message they have for you. Surrender your attachment to results. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen. Then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. So results. What I'm feeling is that you expect things to happen quickly. And if it doesn't happen within a week or a day, it didn't work. Because you want to see that result. The thing is that you don't know how many seeds you've planted, and you may never see the wealth of that, but I think you will. But what you really need to do to empower yourself is to not expect fast action. This pentacle, this is the highest, this is the end of your goal here. This is your highest self, is an abundance mindset, and you're giving from your wealth, whether it's intellect, whether it's knowledge, whether it's money, whether it's time and service. This is your highest self. Getting there, you also have to accept that a scarcity mindset exists because you're not seeing results. And it feels like it's a waste of your time. But if you invest in that emotional health, it won't be a waste of time because you're doing the inner work. And the result that you will see that you should seek most is the change within yourself. Because if that change occurs, there is no way that you won't have an impact on others. You won't help but be a leader. You can't help but embody those traits that you want in yourself, that you see in other people that might drive you nuts. But you don't grip so hard. You might not see it. It might take 10 years and you won't see results. But if you're committed to it, you will follow it because you will see results inside yourself. Maybe not in your surrounding world, though I really think you will, because if you connect emotionally, you balance that part of yourself, it's going to change your environment. I know because I've been there. In 2008, I attempted suicide. And since that, I've seen so much beauty and joy in this world. I have a family now. I have this. I have so much that I couldn't have imagined. But it took years and years and years of work and investing through therapy and through emotional intelligence and help and community and losing friends and gaining friends and being taken advantage of and then seeing through and why and figuring out what emotions were being triggered in me and dealing with my triggers to get to a point where I now know my path. And I think that's the same for you. You're on the right path if you start learning how to process emotion and deal with your triggers in a way that is your transformation and nobody else's. And as you do that, you will transform other people. It will happen. So that's it for this. Hopefully there's some actionable information in there. Super cool spread. And I'm really glad you joined me. And if you enjoyed that, found resonance with it, please subscribe. And I would love to have you back for the next one. And until next time, journey well, my friends.